Hey y'all, my name is Martin Malelu and I am a librarian with LA County Library. Today I'm going to introduce you to a poet by the name of Gwendolyn Brooks, and then I'm going to give you an activity idea that you might use to start writing some poetry of your own. Before we dig in, I wanted to let y'all know that the information on Brooks that I'm sharing with you comes from two articles, one titled Gwendolyn Brooks, The Emerging Poetic Voice by Philip A. Greasley, and the other titled Brooks, Gwendolyn, 1917-2000 by Connie Dinovich. Both these articles and more information on other authors, poets, and publishers is available from the Literature Resource Center, which you can access through lacountylibrary.org using your library card. I've shown you here how to access that database, but also there's a link in the description to send you straight there as well. Gwendolyn Brooks was born in 1917 in Topeka, Kansas, but she spent most of her life in the south side of Chicago. She was surrounded by a family and a community that was supportive of her writing process, which helped her develop her writing skills starting at a very early age. The first work she showed to her parents, she showed it to them at the very young age of 7 years old. By 1945, she had published her first book titled A Street in Bronzeville. Her second book, Annie Allen, won the Pulitzer Prize in 1950. She was the first Black woman to receive the Pulitzer Prize. In 1968, she was named Illinois' Poet Laureate. And in 1985, she became the consultant of poetry to the Library of Congress. Gwendolyn Brooks's earlier published poems kind of follow the format of white European authors who were popular at the time or who had been popular previously. As the Black Panther Party started gaining momentum and the civil rights movement started picking up speed, Gwendolyn decided she wanted to push back against the status quo a little bit. Her poetry shifted from being aesthetic to a little bit more utilitarian. She wanted to make sure that her poetry was reaching a Black audience. While her poems were always written for Black people, she wanted to make sure that they were the ones who were reading her poetry. Alright, so now that you've heard me talk about Gwendolyn Brooks for so long, you're probably feeling inspired to start writing some poetry of your own. So to kind of get the ball rolling in that and to get some good ideas flowing, we're going to make some magnetic poetry. I know that you can buy those kits online, but we're going to make some of our own. So what you're going to need is you're going to need some of these magnets they come with like phone books, or you can get them for free in a lot of places. They're just kind of thin and easy to manipulate. You're gonna need some cardstock. Mine's kind of weird because I've already started this project. And you're going to need scissors and some glue. Instead of using cardstock, you can use regular paper. It does kind of bunch up when you use glue with it. So I do recommend cardstock, but if you don't have cardstock and just want to use regular printer paper, by all means. You're also going to need something to write with. After you've gotten all your supplies together, you're going to take your glue and you're going to glue your magnet to the cardstock. So see, I've already done this here. I've got the magnet side out right here. I put a bunch of glue on this side of the magnet and just stuck it down on the cardstock. And while you're waiting for that to dry, you can brainstorm some words that you might want to use. When you're making your list of words, you want to make sure that you include all parts of speech. You want to include nouns, verbs, adjectives, adverbs, all kinds of prepositions, just everything you can think of. One way that I did this was I chose a couple of lines from some of my favorite songs, and I wrote those out and used those words as a foundation. While you're not going to recreate those lines exactly, you can mix them up and put different combinations of those words together. So that's a good starting point if you're having a hard time. There's also random word generators online that you can use, or you can just open the dictionary and start flipping through. After you've brainstormed your list of words and your magnet part has dried to the cardstock, we're gonna go ahead and cut this out. So you're just gonna cut out all the way around the magnet. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. All right, once you have that done, we're gonna go ahead and get started writing some of the words that you came up with on your magnet. All right, so I just started out and I actually got 5 words going this way. So this is kind of how I'm starting out my format. I'm gonna keep going like this and I'll show you when it's done. All right, so this is my finished product. I boxed in all my words. They're easier to cut out that way. And I'm gonna go ahead and cut them out. All these words are from a song that I have stuck in my head, and so I'm gonna see what happens. All right, so here's my stack of words I'll cut out. This is actually from 2 magnets. One is the one that I showed you, and one is one that I made previously using a random word generator and adding in a bunch of pronouns because I thought those might be helpful. I did also add in, I don't know if you saw it earlier, like a bunch of S's and some ing endings. There's the ing ending. You might also want to add in some like ed endings, just because that's the way language works, right? When we speak, we often add extra letters to the ends of words to make them mean what we want them to mean. So using this stack, I'm going to try to make a poem. All right, I've got all my magnets on the fridge, and this is the poem I made. I am out late, spending hours at a place I like until I want to go. All right, y'all, I hope you had fun making your own magnetic poetry, and I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about Gwendolyn Brooks. I also hope that you click the link in the description to look at some of the resources we have available about and by Gwendolyn Brooks, such as The Essential Gwendolyn Brooks and this book Exquisite, which is about Gwendolyn Brooks's life. We also hope that you check out lacountylibrary.org for learning a little bit about sidewalk service and all of the other great resources we have available for you right now. Bye for now.